Welcome to Your Cyber Path, the podcast that helps you get your dream cybersecurity job by sharing the secrets of experienced hiring managers and top cybersecurity professionals with you. Now, on to the show.
You know, what this reminds me of, you have a background of working in the Navy. And when I heard you speaking just now about, hey, locked gates, they should fail closed, although that can be dangerous. Well, that happens all the time on ships and submarines, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of different things that we use that are mechanical systems, and a lot of them are controlled by computers. And for example, on a submarine, you want to be able to open the valve and take water in, which then allows you to get heavier and sink down, which is what a submarine wants to do because it's
Yep.
always trying to maintain buoyancy. And if it needs to rise, it would push that water out by using air, and it pushes it out of that bellows in that system that holds all that water. But you're right. We would want that to always fail closed so that we're not taking on more water in the case of an issue. And that way we can then try pumping out that water and get ourselves back to the surface.
And what about and I don't know, so I'm asking seriously, what about like the idea of watertight compartments, right? On movies, you see this all the time where a
Yeah.
ship comes under attack and the order goes out and all the, doors are sealed. And if there's crew on the wrong side of a door, well, that's kind of too bad.
Well, that is a decision that's been made. And so the big difference here is when you talk about those sealed doors on a Navy ship, they're not done automatically. We physically go and lock those doors. And the reason is exactly for what you said, to be able to hopefully get the people onto the right side of the door before we shut it. But if we have to make the decision of losing a ship of 1,000 people or losing one sailor who's on the wrong side of the compartment when the order goes out, we're going to choose the 1,000 over the one, right? It's the
Right.
needs of the great over the needs of the few.
Yeah. Because
But
of
you're
Star
right.
Trek,
It
sort of
is
like that.
that fail close mentality where we have to start shutting these doors. And recently I was on a cruise. I love going on cruises, and if you ever go on a cruise ship, as you're walking down the halls, you'll see these electric doors that are called fire safe doors, and they're held open by a magnet.
Mm,
If they lose power, those doors will all lose the magnetism and they
mm,
will shut. And when that happens, that is a fail-safe default to prevent fire from going from one compartment to another
right.
on a large ship like a cruise ship, because they simply don't have enough crew in all these different spaces to shut these doors manually in time when there's an issue. And that's why they
Right.
have these
Yeah.
automated systems to do it.
Yeah. And a 16 deck cruise ship, I can imagine everybody fanning out to lock doors manually. That ain't gonna happen. You're right.
Yep.
I want to give one more real world example, and then I think we should turn our attention to how fail-safe defaults work in computer systems. But some of the examples we've given so far are a little bit esoteric. Like if you've never been on a ship or submarine, you're just imagining what it's like or thinking about Hollywood depictions of it. But here's a fail-safe default that we use all the time. Almost every one of us has used this. Some people use it multiple times a day, and that's an elevator. Elevators have a fail-safe default, which is if the elevator stops functioning, if the cable becomes frayed and breaks, the car that you're standing in is going to grip the rails and not go anywhere. It will not go rushing to the bottom like so many trapped Jedis on a spaceship. That's not the way it works. So, and thank God for that, right? Because we do want a fail-safe default like that on our elevator systems. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there in case, people were wondering like, well, will I ever actually encounter a fail-safe system? Yes, in the real world, you will.